Community Highlights. Another local exclusive from Southeastern Michigan's news and information station, MonroeCountyRadio.com.
This is our town, the place we call home.
Welcome to This Is Our Town with Jeff Yorkey, a local public affairs presentation on MonroeCountyRadio.com. Brought to you by Allen Chevrolet Cadillac. All roads lead to Chevrolet. Here's Jeff Yorkey.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of This Is Our Town. I'm Jeff Yorkey. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And in our town today, we have Gene Poupard, right? Did I get that name right, Gene?
That's right.
And Gene has a very special birthday coming up. He is going to be a centenarian pretty soon. The big 100, right?
Right.
That's pretty cool. Now, Gene, you're a lifelong resident of Monroe? You were born here?
Oh, yes.
Born here. It'll be 100 years ago.
Right.
So you have seen a lot. One of the things I got to tell you, Gene, one of the things that I love most about Monroe is the rich history. I think that it's one of the things that I'm not originally from here. I wasn't born here like you were, but and I only got you got a whole half a century on me, and I've only been here for about a quarter of a century. And I got to tell you, one of the things that keeps me here is that incredibly cool history. So much in this area, and you've been fortunate enough to see a lot of that, right?
Right.
So tell me now. So you were born during the Roaring '20s, right?
Right.
And tell me. So what are your first childhood memories? What do you recall?
Well, being born on a farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And where was your guys' farm located?
On La Pleasance Creek Road.
Okay.
North side of La Pleasance Creek.
North side of
Monroe Charter Township.
Gotcha. And what kind of farm was it?
A general farm.
General, you guys did
Grain
a little
farm.
Grain, yeah.
And we had animals, and that was my chore. That's why we were small. We gradually worked our way up in the farm.
Sure.
From taking care of the poultry and milking cows, and then working in the fields. So
Yeah. Now, how long did you work on the farm? How old were you when you moved off the farm?
18.
You were about 18.
Yeah.
So now at 18, that would have put you right around. Let me see here. I got to do my math right here. That would have put you right around the beginning of World War II, right?
Right.
And is that what prompted you to leave the farm?
Oh no. I graduated from the Monroe Public Schools, Monroe High School.
Okay.
1940.
Right.
And I was an asthmatic since infancy, so I wasn't much value as a farmer to my dad, so he allowed me to take employment with a Packers Outlet, which was a first supermarket in Monroe.
Oh, yeah? No kidding.
North Elm Avenue near St. Mary's Church. So I worked there. And while I was working there, a friend of my dad's had his eye on me, so he pulled me away from Packers Outlet, and that was Stoner Maurer Company, a equipment manufacturer. And I was in the office. And then while I was with Stoner Maurer Company, Uncle Sam greeted me.
Oh, yeah.
And so from there I went to Louisiana, from Louisiana to Texas, then Europe.
Then Europe, really?
Yeah.
So what year then would you have gone to Europe?
2 years later.
2 years later?
Yeah.
And now, let me go back a little bit, because there's a huge part of history that affected even here in Monroe that we just sort of skimmed right over, and that was the Great Depression. You lived during the Great Depression, right through the entire thing.
Yep.
Tell me, now looking back now, especially now when you look around and how things have changed, what was your perception then about the Depression versus how you look back on it now?
Well, I had two brothers about my age. And, all I remember is the fun we had.
Yeah, right.
But my mother did most of the sewing of our clothes. And but she was very thrifty, and so the year I was born, my dad bought his first automobile. He bought a 1922 Model T touring sedan.
Wow.
$400.
Crazy, huh?
And the average
You still got it,
income
right?
average income at that time was $1,258.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you had you had, I mean, that's one of the first cars, Model T. You guys had one right on the farm there, right?
Right.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now when you look back on it now, so you just think about you weren't as affected personally because of your youth, right? By the
Not
depression.
really.
You look back and you kind of see what your parents went through, and it's and now you kind of understand it. But at the time, it really you didn't look at it like there was this great historical event, right? Yeah. So all right, so let's move fast forward to World War II. You got to World War II, what, 40, or you got to Europe. Was it after the Normandy invasion, or did they?
Oh, yes.
So okay, so you got there.
Second wave.
The second wave. Okay. And any significant battles that you were engaged in during World War II?
Yeah, we were going with a troop transport. We ended up in North Africa, across the Mediterranean.
Oh, okay.
Went to Marseille, Port of Marseille, France.
Yeah.
And the battleships were laying on their sides.
Really?
So we couldn't dock, so we pulled up along those battleships laying on their sides, and we walked across the hulls
Really?
into the Port of Marseille to a staging area called Calas,
Yeah.
which was northeast of Marseille, probably by 20 miles.
Yeah. So you infiltrated Europe through they used to call it the underbelly, right?
Yeah.
The first wave went into Normandy and started pushing the Germans back, and then you came in from the south.
Whenever there was a crack, we went in the crack.
Yeah, that is so cool. So I would imagine when you guys first got there, by the time you got there, pretty fast moving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, kind of fortunate for you. The war didn't last that much longer after that, right? You guys came in there and really, with the help from the east that you got, you guys were able to take Europe over pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
So tell me then when you get back, tell me a little bit about that. What was that experience like coming back here? Because so many people. I know my grandfather was in World War II, and he tells me about it, and I just think it's the coolest thing in the world. But and one of the coolest eras, the late 1940s, the mid to late 1940s. When you get back here, the world had to be so much different. How different was the world in the mid 40s versus when World War II first started?
Well, primarily, we got first Christmas I was home, we got a table radio.
Oh yeah.
That was something.
So was that the first time that you had any sort of mass communication?
Well, we had my uncle happened to have a radio that was about 3 foot long and about a foot square.
Sure.
And it was operated on car batteries.
Wow. No kidding.
And from that we went on up to, but our house was not electrified. Our farm was not electrified when I was born and when I was growing up on it. So my dad paid to have the farm electrified, and when the electrification job was done, he had the outbuildings with lights and so forth. He turned on every light. And people came from far away as 25 miles just to see that spectacular event.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Now, do you specifically remember that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
See, I think that is I mean, and I want to, when we start getting into more of the modern era, the just the technological advances that you've seen in your lifetime are absolutely remarkable, and I'm certainly going to want to get your comment on that. But when you first got back, did you go back to the farm, or did you?
Yes.
Okay, because at that point now you're whatever job you had. I mean, Uncle Sam comes is calling, and it's not like they said, hey, Gene, come on back. We got some work for you when you got back, right? No, you got to look for a little bit of help when you first get back, right? So you go back, and now at some point you get married. When did you get married?
I got married back less than a year, and I got married.
Okay.
I came home in the first part of the year and was married in August.
Married in August,
Yep.
And then you helped with that first wave of baby boomers, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. My parents are the first wave of that. I'm the second wave. Yeah, I'm the '60s guy, and your kids are all the '40s kids, right? '40s and into the '50s, I bet, right?
He's
So
one of the
yeah, I know. One of them's holding the mic for you right now, isn't he?
well, he's the in-law.
Oh, he's the in-law.
Yeah,
He's not even
married to my second one.
married to your second one. Really?
Oh.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, and you had so your wife's name was Alice. Alice, you guys were married for 70 some odd years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she died in 2019.
Yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. Yeah. But you guys had a very long, obviously prosperous marriage.
Oh, yeah.
So the 40s. What did the 40s and 50s hold for you? And you know what? I gotta ask you this. So in the 50s. Now I'm a huge, even though I was born in the mid 60s, huge Elvis fan. Did you care at all about rock and roll?
Oh, a little bit. It was
A little
something
bit.
unusual.
Something unusual, yeah. Because you were still young enough that you probably would have listened to stuff like that, right? Like, what was your impression of that music when Bill Haley and
Well, I didn't get
and all
too
those guys?
involved in that.
No. What was your?
Well,
were you a
being born
Sinatra
and raised
guy?
out in the country, it was town and country music.
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
So, and then as it evolved into smoother.
Yeah. So you were a Hank Williams, Patsy Cline kind of guy?
Well, not truly, but
Yeah.
interspersed.
Sure. Among others, right?
Yep.
So all right. So now the 50s roll around. What do you end up doing for a living then?
Well, I was working in manufacturing.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, I went into the insurance business.
Okay.
And I ended up owning my own insurance agency.
Very nice. Very
And
nice.
I retired from that.
And when did you retire?
Phil helped me.
83?
Okay.
Okay.
I was 61 and a half years old when I retired.
No kidding. 61 and a half. So you've been retired ever since then?
Yes.
Really? So tell me, what's retirement life been for you?
Oh, it's very interesting.
Yeah?
Active. Very active.
I can tell. I see from the coat you're wearing, you're like me, a golf fan, right? Is that one of the things that keeps you young?
I told the kids if I couldn't golf, I'd die.
You know what? I tell my wife that. I'm like, the only reason I work is so I can retire and golf every day. That's all I care about. That's all I want to do. So, have you been able to shoot your age?
Oh,
Many times.
less than my age.
Less than man. That's amazing. That's incredible. So where do you typically golf?
Well, I was a former member of the golf club, Monroe Golf and Country Club.
Okay.
And Green Meadows.
Oh, that's my league. I golf there every week.
Oh yeah, I golf on Monday out there.
You golf on Monday out there, huh?
And other Giant Oak.
Yeah.
Temperance.
Okay. What do you? When's the last time you shot at a game of golf over at Green Meadows?
A week ago Monday.
Yeah. So did you play the front or the back?
Played the front.
Played the front. How'd you shoot?
I I think I shot a 58.
That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. Is that typically what you shoot out there on the front?
Late 40s, early 50s.
Oh yeah, no kidding. And what about the back? What's the best golf score you ever had?
Oh, the best golf score was, gosh darn it. Did I ever tell you, Phil, what was my best score?
You ever shoot? I shot a 9 holes. I shot a 2 over par 38 once down at Bedford Hills. Best I've ever shot. Have you ever broken par?
No, I 48 probably was my best game.
That's pretty darn impressive, though. It sounds like your game is still pretty consistent, even at your age.
Well, I got good competitors.
Yeah, well, that helps. That certainly does help. Do you like do you enjoy the 19th hole? Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So you have a beverage once in a while after a nice round of golf?
Yeah, they teased me a week ago. They said, "Come on, we're going in to have a drink."
Yeah.
So I sat down at the table, cup of coffee.
Showed them. So Mondays, I got to remember that. I might come out there. My son is he golfs for Ida, so that's their home course. So he's out there all the time. I'm going to have to tell him to look out for you. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Hey, can you hang on a second? Because I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about today's day and age, and maybe get your perspective, especially from a guy who's really literally seen it all. At least throughout the 20th century and now into a good chunk of the 21st century. I'd really like to get your take on how things are going now.
Okay.
Sound good? All right,
Yep.
We'll be back with Gene Poupard right after this message from Allen Chevrolet Cadillac.
Hi, this is John Allen with Allen Chevrolet Cadillac. Just wanted to thank everybody for voting us three-peat. Best of the best for Monroe County for best overall dealership. We wanted to talk about some of our specials. We offer the Allen Care Package. When you purchase a new vehicle with the Allen Care Package, it comes with half off oil changes for life and a $1,000 insurance deductible waiver, paint and fabric protection for the interior and exterior, and 3M door guards. That's just some of the great things that we offer at Allen Chevrolet Cadillac.
All right, welcome back. And hey, if you're just joining us, I'm here with Gene Poupard, and Gene is celebrating his 100th birthday here. Actually, the day after we record this, you're having a big party.
Yes, a family reunion, sort of.
Family reunion, sort of. Well, that's going to be pretty cool. So you'll be doing that in June, but by that time,
No.
Oh, you're going to do that.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow
on your
evening.
birthday. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Private family affair.
Gotcha. Oh, and then you're having
June is the public affair.
the public affair. Okay. Oh, good. So maybe I can go to that.
Well, yeah, you're welcome.
All right. As long as I heard your favorite doctor might be there. Who's your favorite doctor?
BYOB.
Well, I'll do that. Don't worry. I'll bring my own doctor. BYOD. So, hey, before we get into that, I want to get back a little bit. Before the break, we talked a whole lot about basically your life from leading all the way. You were born during the Roaring '20s. You lived through the Great Depression, World War II, and one of the things that during the break here that your son-in-law just told me about that you managed to leave out was some of the things that happened when you were, some of the awards that you received when you were serving in the Army during World War II, namely a couple of Purple Hearts, I understand, right? And what else did you get?
Well, the Sharpshooter's Medal.
Sharpshooters, yeah.
And
Bronze Star.
well, the Bronze Star, but the theater ribbons.
Oh, yeah.
When you work in different theaters, and there was.
I heard there's a good conduct medal that sometimes gets taken away from you.
I was a good little boy.
But a couple of Purple Hearts, we've had lots of veterans on this show, and I always thank them for their service, and especially guys that really sacrificed like you did. And so I do thank you for your service, and I'm very impressed with what you did. And I got to ask you, given what you went through, and let's go fast forward to today. You've been retired since 1983, and the world has changed considerably since the 1970s. And I'm just wondering what is your take on it? How do you feel the world is different? Do you think it's better? Do you think it's worse? Do you think that what parts do you think we could do we as the younger generation could do a better job at?
Well, I find that currently there's so much greed and uncaring and thoughtlessness, disrespect. And I tell my kids, or if I happen to be in the presence of somebody sounding off negatively, I said, I left my blood on foreign soil so that you can have that privilege of sounding off.
Right.
And that you should appreciate that.
And do it respectfully, right? It's okay to have different opinions, isn't it?
Of course.
But the great thing about this country is that just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I hate you. And we see way too much of that, don't you think? It's, what do you think? What do you think led to that? Why do you think it is? Why do you think that's happened? Do you think that it's because we haven't had to? You guys laid the groundwork in the 40s and the 50s and even in the 60s. You guys laid the groundwork for freedom, really, in this country with your blood. And do you think that maybe this generation is, including myself, has gotten a little complacent?
Well, yeah, the thing with our current disrespect circulating and so forth, I call that lazy parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, too, the slowly deterioration of discipline.
Yeah.
And like I talked to one priest, and he said, when you talk to these kids, these young kids, and you try to make a point to them, they're in their phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
See?
Right.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
And that stuff disturbs me, but
So, what do you think is the best part about living in the 2020s as opposed to the 1920s? What do you think is the best part?
Well, the convenience of living.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is so much. Life is just so much easier,
yeah.
right? I mean, I grew up mainly in the 70s. In the 70s, that was easy. Life was pretty easy comparatively when we would think about, like what our parents or our grandparents had gone through, like you, going through these different eras, difficult eras in American history, and it is crazy how technologically things are so much different. What do you think is the most impressive technological advancement that you've seen in your lifetime?
Oh, I would, and I'm not high tech, well in that direction, but as a matter of fact, I've got a Stone Age phone.
Yeah.
But then Phil's got one that tells the Supreme Court what to do, and I can't fit in there yet.
Sure.
That's the only difficult part I find in the.
But it is the amount of information that you can get from that tiny little thing. What strikes so you obviously remember the moon landing and all of that stuff, right? The computing power of all of the computers that they had on board that spacecraft they pale in comparison to this silly phone that's in our pocket now. Isn't that amazing? It is just it is incredible. And then you think about the whole computer thing when you were born and growing up in the 20s and 30s, that was a pipe dream. You wouldn't even think about something crazy like that, right?
Star Wars, that
Yeah,
gave me a
right?
tip.
Yeah. I know. It's almost like it's coming true, right? Yeah. What do you think? What do you think the next 100 years? What do you think is in store for us in the next 100 years?
Unless parents take on their responsibilities and school systems and not being so easy with the students and so forth. Discipline. What bothers me too in the war in Ukraine,
Right.
and you get little glimpses of lack of discipline among the military.
Right.
That's not very encouraging, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. If you're listening out there, that is great sage advice here from a guy who's lived through more than most of us have read about in history books. So and maybe if you were disciplined a little more, you'd read more about that stuff and appreciate it. So it has really been great meeting you, Gene. I want to thank you so much. I cannot thank you more for being on the show. I really think it was a great insight. And the insight that it's I tell people life is a collection of memories. That's really all it is. And you have the richest life of anyone I've ever met, because you have such amazing memories, and I can tell by your attitude that they're great memories. You've lived a phenomenal life. You got I'm sure a lot more to go. And we have you on for your 110th. That sound good? On your 110th birthday, will you come back on the show?
100 and a quarter.
100 and a quarter? Yeah, we'll do that. Well, we'll do that one too. Yeah.
Can I spike something in there?
Absolutely.
I was strafed.
You were what?
Strafed. That's when the two-wing plane comes down a narrow street with the machine guns blazing.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And how I escaped, my driver and I were able to roll under the Jeep.
No kidding.
So I didn't get hit by a bullet. But then we were assaulting a chateau in the French vineyards, and it was an uphill climb. And I had a fellow on my left get hit. He had the most beautiful black hair you ever saw. And when I heard him call my name, I looked, and he was Snow White.
Oh, my God.
And then my first sergeant was behind me by 25, 30 feet, and they got him in the leg. And those are the things that I didn't talk about until just recently.
Wow.
Yeah, those are memories, but I don't know how to explain it, but there's a lesson there.
Yeah, absolutely. Life's a collection of memories. Some of them are good, some of them are bad.
Okay.
Sometimes those bad ones, though, give you perspective on the good ones, right?
Keeping on a straight and narrow.
Exactly. It makes you appreciate the things that you have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gene, I thank you so much. I'm glad you survived.
Well, thank you very much.
You can tell you are a survivor. So we'll see you for 110th, and then again for the 100 and a quarter, right?
Okay.
All right, and maybe I'll see you Monday out on the golf course. Sound good?
Well, I'd enjoy that.
All right, me too. All right, that is all the time we have for this edition of This Is Our Town.
Oh, wait a
I want to
minute.
thank Gene Poupard. Oh, no, we're not done yet. Hold on, Bob Vergils. We ain't going bobbing around Monroe yet.
Not Monday, because I'm in the parade.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll do it the following Monday. Sounds good. All right, thanks, Gene Poupard, and thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Join us every Sunday at noon and Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another edition of This Is Our Town with Jeff Yorkey, a local public affairs presentation on MonroeCountyRadio.com. Brought to you by Allen Chevrolet Cadillac. All roads lead to Chevy.
This is our town, the place we call home.